But they all had different, but in my mind, there was a similar thread, right? And the similar
Hmm.
thread is you just have to get out and get moving and start slowly, right? This was probably this message in all of them. Get out,
Yeah.
start slowly, but just start somewhere and build from there. Yeah. And then age is not a limitation, right? That's the
No.
other big message. Age is not a limitation.
Welcome to Journey of the Roadrunner, the podcast that takes you on an inspiring expedition through the diverse and captivating life journeys of remarkable individuals. I'm your host, Paul Stressner, who is on a journey to run a 5K in all 50 states. Coming to you with Adriana Ferns, my friend and personal trainer who's on a soul friend journey herself. We're thrilled to be your guides as we lace up and hit the road to explore the unique paths, challenges, triumphs, and wisdom that have shaped our guests into the extraordinary people they are today. Join us as we dive deep into personal stories of resilience, growth, and transformation, uncovering the secrets to success, happiness, and fulfillment. So whether you're a fellow runner in the race of life or simply curious about the incredible stories that unfold behind every individual, get ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure on Journey of the Roadrunner. Now let's get the show on the road. Hey everybody, I hope you like that new opening. This is Paul here.
And Adriana?
Yeah, today we have a very special guest. She's a writer, a mental health professional. In her books, you'll find real-life stories from everyday people who are beating the odds, determined to live full, rich lives, something we should all aspire to. A couple of recent books I know you love are Never Too Late, Inspiration, Motivation, and Sage Advice from 7 later in life athletes, and the recently published You Are Limitless, Anxiety, Grief, Trauma, Addiction, 7 inspiring stories of hope and healing. We present to you Kate Champion. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
Hey, Kate.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to connect. Hi.
I think I first found you when I was searching for Kindle Unlimited. I was looking for like autobiography, like nonfiction books about writing, and then you came up and it just like caught my attention. The Never Too Late, because that's perfect. We cover that a lot. So then I read the book. I was like, oh my God, I'd love to have her on. And then you just happen to have a new book released just a couple of months ago. So we're excited about that. I don't know, I guess starting off, could you give us a little background on yourself and what inspired you to write these books?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm heading into my sixth decade, so I'm going to be 60 in April.
Okay.
I wrote that first book, Never Too Late, I'm really bad with time, so maybe about 4 years ago, published that.
Yeah.
On my around the 55th birthday, and I was a trail runner, and I really wanted to get out and try backpacking, and I had no community. Right, when you're 55 or 56 and you're a female, none of my friends were interested in lugging up the hills and getting sweaty and getting dirty and just getting messed up, right? So it's like, okay, I really needed community. So I started writing that book with the intention of building kind of community and also sharing stories. There's some men in there, but really focus on females and really focusing on, like, you don't have to stop, right? Just because you turn 40 or 45 or 50 or 60 or 70, you just don't have to stop. And that was my inspiration for Never Too Late.
Mhm.
Yeah, that book is awesome. I read it. I got it for Christmas.
Oh.
And I loved it. And I really did. I've had a few injuries myself that really discouraged me. And, I'm an obstacle racer. I trail run. I just recently got into MovNat a couple of years ago. I shouldn't say recently, a few years ago, 2021. And, I have some people who say to me, they're like, well, are you getting a little old to do this stuff? And like, if anything, it pisses me off. So it drives me to do more. I'm like, I'll show them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
100%.
Yeah, and it was inspiring. Pat, she was awesome. She was one of my faves. And Butch, that guy cracks me up. He got like hammered one night and then just went for it.
That's right. Yeah, he totally got shit faced and then like hardly made it out of bed in the morning. He packed his gear and drove, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours and showed up at the start line. And I forget what it was, 150 miles, and totally did it. Yeah. So, awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I love the book. Is so inspired. Honestly, I it's one of those books I'll read again. I don't usually read books a few times, but there's a couple that I think that was just such an inspiring book. And it really shows, I mean, some of these people, their age, what they're doing, it's like unbelievable. And how when they started older. It's not like they were doing this their whole lives and they're conditioned. They started conditioning later. So, I train different populations, and I have some older people. I have an older woman now who's 71. She came in, she was frustrated one day, and she said, I can't build muscle anymore, and this and that. And I said, where are you hearing this? Like, who's telling you this shit? And so we started doing some stuff, and I'm like, when she came in, so the pandemic had her sitting. I trained her before the pandemic, and she was one of those people I really have to push. She had pinched a nerve, I think, just from sitting. So she had a cane, she was limping. And, I said, listen, like, you got to just start getting strong again. And she did. I go, you're not even walking with the cane anymore. She lost her cane because she just put it somewhere. And I said, what do you think? You think no muscle is building? Like, how do you think that started again?
Is that a cane behind you? Did you take it from her?
She said that. She goes, Adriana, did you take my cane? I go, listen, I could be an ass, but I wouldn't steal an old lady's cane, And it's funny because I laughed all the time because I made a joke with her all the time. I'm like, I get that cane in my car. You need it, because at the end of the day, though, it's like people get discouraged when they're older. And, I'm 44, so I'm not a puppy anymore, but I'm at that point in my life where I still want to thrive and do more, so it's like, I really found this book to be inspiring and I want to share it with my clients because I do have some people who get, they have an accident or something happens, like, well, I'm just getting too old. I'm like, that's bullshit. You're only as old as you make yourself feel,
Exactly. I love what you're saying, because you're saying a couple of things that really resonate with me. First of all, that, if you have, so that's what my second book is focused on, right? You Are Limitless is about using movement and also nature to really overcome things like addiction, anxiety, depression, autoimmune disease. I have healed from I have two autoimmune diseases. One of them can complete remission, and one I just use a B12 injection for. I've broken my wrist. I've one of the diseases I couldn't even get up and walk out of bed. Horrible, but I wasn't gonna. I said, I'm gonna be a poster child. I'm gonna be a poster child with this fucking disease, and it's not gonna let me down, because I just couldn't imagine a life not moving and not getting out there. So I thank God I healed, recovered, used a lot of movement, nature. I processed a lot of my own trauma and crap and grief. I think that's vital for people. And then, got out in nature, and I really dialed in my food and my nutrition as well. A bit of a sugar addict, so I had to kind of dial that down. And I have to tell you, I'm complete remission, and I owe it, I swear, to movement, getting out in nature, processing through that trauma, and keeping moving. Age is just a number.
Yeah.
And there are more studies now that they're looking at chronological age, but they're also looking at physiological age, right? They can measure physiological age. So we're so head in the head with the numbers. It's just, don't believe it. Don't believe it.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this book. I'm going to get this one next. I'm a paper girl. I have this book. I'm all about paper. I have a Kindle, but it just died and I never picked it up again.
Yeah, I love paper too. I like paper too. Touch and feel, and
I'm excited. I'm gonna have to get this one next. So I was gonna try to read it right before, but I'm doing two books at the same time right now, so I got to finish those before I can.
I think if you like Never Too Late, I think you'll enjoy the second one.
Definitely.
I'm excited. Yeah, your vibe is just awesome. The way you write, like everything, it's very readable. You're a good storyteller. Like, it's good.
I try to be real, and that's another one of my things. I try to be real and genuine, right? Just here it is. This is who I am. You get me today, like I go to work, like I show up with my kids. This is so that's important too, like living your truth, right? I think that's really important too.
Yeah, that's exactly. We touch on that all the time.
Absolutely.
And one of my favorite quotes is from you, Kate. He said, "I don't buy into the socially contrived crisis mentality, the midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, 3/4 life crisis." Like you said, it's just a number. Like, I know people that are probably like in their 30s and they're like, "Oh, I'm getting old," and then meanwhile, you're reading about 80-year-old nuns doing triathlons and stuff.
Right.
We have I was telling Paul, we have a man at the gym, and I said to him, he had a running shirt on from the 70s, like the year I was born, 78. And I said, is that from 78? He's like, you bet your ass it is. And I'm like, I wonder how that smells. I didn't say that, but and he was so happy. And I said, what are you running these days? Like he's only running 5 miles a day. He's only running 5 miles. Only. And it was funny. He goes, I used to run the ultras. He's like, I had to slow it down a little. I'm only doing 5 a day. And it just made me laugh because it was so like, there's people in their 20s who aren't running 5 miles or even close,
Yeah. What a champ, right?
Yeah.
But I aspire to. So Paul, you have, you connected with my group on Facebook, the Backup Pack Athlete. That group is, again, I mean, those people in that group also inspire me and keep me going too. I was talking about building community, but there's people in that group, just regular, everyday people that are doing some really incredible things. We've got 50, 60, 70, 80-year-olds, and they're out there, they're hiking, they're swimming, they're doing triathlons. It's freaking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a post from somebody on there that they already ran the half marathon in all 50 states, and she's going around again. And I'm over here on a 50-state journey to run a 5K. It's like, oh man, I gotta step up my game.
That's inspiring.
That's cool. It is. It's all inspiring. I think anybody that gets up out of bed and puts those shoes on and gets out the door, whatever that is, if it's a walk to the mailbox and back, right? Or if it's 100 miles, it doesn't matter. I think that's inspiring. So all about it. Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember in your book if you mentioned, did you do sports or anything as a child?
I hated sports. I didn't run. I was a pack-a-day smoker. I'm from England, right? So we smoke a lot, we drink a lot, we eat a lot of cheese and butter and sugar. That was pretty much my diet growing up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a kind of pudgy teen. And I really didn't get into running until I did some running to help with some just kind of some weight loss in my 20s, but I didn't really get into running into my 30s, and I didn't really get into it seriously until after I was in my recovery from that autoimmune disease. And I didn't start backpacking seriously until I was 55.
Okay.
Was backpack and was doing those long overnights, getting out on the trail for 2, 3, 4 nights at a time, really covering some mileage, which I love to do now. It's one of my favorite things to do, but it's been incremental, and I've done more as I've got older, not less, right?
Okay.
And currently doing more as I get older than I ever did when I was younger. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I did notice that Never Too Late, there was a pattern of these athletes that when they first started out, they started out slow and slowly built their way up. Because I think a lot of times people see that people doing marathons and then like, oh, I can never do that, that's too much, so they think they get right out the door they need to be able to do that. So I just noticed that they slowly built up, no matter what, the swimmer, mountain climbing.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Yeah, that's important.
In my mental health practice, I also work a lot with kind of performance, and that's one of my messages is like, you've just got to start somewhere. Where the question, right? Where are you willing to start? Are you willing to start with a walk to the mailbox? Are you willing to start with a walk around the block? Are you willing to start with half an hour in the gym? Right? Where are you willing to start? And then let's build on that. That's such a key question. Yeah.
Yep. I love that. So just from like a writing point of view, because actually we're both Adrian and I are both writers. How did you well, I think in the book you said how you found everybody, but how did you interview them? Did you interview them like in person, on Zoom, emails? How did that come about? It was
all over the phone. Let me think, is that true? Yep, all over the phone, and then with a digital recorder. Obviously, I set up the interview questions. We had kind of a pre-interview chat on the phone just to make sure they were a good fit for the project, and then set up interviews, and then use the phone. It was one of them was during COVID, so everyone was like shut in, and Yeah. So all over the phone and a lot of emails back and forth, and yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I love the questions that you asked. Like you even had like kind of like a what do you call it? Like you broke in with like asking what the favorite quote and the must-read book and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and then you got the
Mm-hmm.
background. And I love how you ask like those questions. They all have different answers,
We
so
all
that
had
you can
different
relate to
answers.
anybody. Mhm.
Yeah. But they all had different, but in my mind, there's a similar thread, right? And the similar
Mhm.
thread is you just have to get out and get moving and start slowly, right? This was probably this message in all of them. Get out,
yeah.
start slowly, but just start somewhere and build from there. Yeah. And then age is not a limitation, right? That's the
Mhm.
No.
other big message. Age is not a limitation.
Now, with your mental health background, do you have any advice for people like who, even like who have been working out and are fit, who get an injury and I think like from a personal experience, I had a broken ankle and I've had way worse things happen to me in life, but
Mhm.
I woke up and they broke my ankle. It was an accident because they were taking some old hardware out. So it really, it put me in a weird, like I'm not a depressed person. And
Yeah.
I was devastated. It was like 3 months until I really could even
Mm,
small recover. It was a really traumatic break the way they did
yeah.
it because they were pulling hardware out. So do you have
Wow.
any advice to people who get like a debilitating injury who really that like exercise isn't just to keep me in shape, it's for my mental health,
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have
I
advice
totally
for
get
people
that.
like that who are using it
Yeah.
for mental health and it's my life? So,
Yes. Yeah. And I completely connect because I feel exactly the same way. I mean, that, I go to therapy, but it's also my therapy. So for me to be sidelined like that for 3 months just must have been devastating for you. But
yeah,
I would, if you were a client, I might suggest like, okay, so what else can you do, right? So can you do some upper body? Can you do some chair yoga? Can you, what other things can you do? Can you start to do some breath work? Can you do something that's going to get, because it's not just the running, right? But it's the physical movement and it's trying to get that dopamine going, right? Because
yeah,
that's dealing with here when we're exercising and moving. It's all about keeping those dopamine levels up. So what else could you do while you're in this rehab stage? And also I would encourage you to try and get back to doing something as quickly as you can. Even if you've got so I use a rower, right? Even if you've got one leg, you can't see you, but one leg off the rower and you're just like, using the other leg and you're still
yeah,
moving body, or you're in the chair and you're doing some some weights with your arms, or you're using those elastic kind of bands,
yep,
whatever you can do while your leg is kind of stationary and healing, obviously under doctor's orders, of course. But yeah, I would just try and keep moving as much as you can. Getting daylight, right? Getting daylight, sitting outside, making sure that you're getting that daylight because that can help give you a dopamine boost. Making sure you're sleeping well, making sure you're hydrating, getting enough water in the system is really important for that healing process. Yeah, and talking to somebody, I would be talking to somebody
yeah.
about the loss, right? That's a loss,
It's
right?
yeah, it's like a grieving process.
It
Mhm.
is. So really talking about that, because that's going to help, that's going to help the recovery process too, right? It's not just about the body, it's mind, body, mind. It's the mental attitude, right? It's really it's a whole holistic thing. It's healing.
Yeah,
Whatever your healing is, it's holistic. You can't cut any corners. Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yeah, it's amazing the connection between the mind, body, and nature. Yeah, just
Yes.
getting that sunlight, just being out.
Sunlight, fresh air.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I feel like I haven't sworn enough. Do I need to swear more?
I mean, if you want, we invite it. You did swear a little, so that helps because like we're not always the most behaved. So we had this one podcast, Kate. This was one of my favorites that it didn't record. It started off with asparagus making your pee smell, and it turned into who named the urinal cake? Like, why is it a urinal cake? So it turned in this is like what kind of stuff happens on this podcast. So anything goes. If there's any curiosity about anything, especially urinal cakes, we can get into it. We have Dr.
Yeah.
Google on hand.
Well, there was one
Hilarious.
episode we were discussing your book, and I had mentioned Sister Madonna, and then
Oh, the
Oh,
nuns.
yeah.
then
I don't know if you
Adriana
heard this one. This is a bad one.
then Adriana described what it would be like if she was a nun. So I think if the Vatican ever hears it, I think we're going to be banned. So Last Temptation of Christ, Da Vinci Code, and Journey of the Road Runner on the banned list.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that was a fun one.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you guys have a great energy. Enjoying time together. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, we have a blast.
Yeah.
good, good.
Oh yes, because Sister Madonna, yeah, she's 87. She was 87 and still like a world champion triathlete. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She was actually one of my. So I interviewed her in Never Too Late, and I don't know. Speaking to that woman was like, I don't know. Speaking to, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. You know, some things it's hard to put language on.
Yep.
Just like a legend, right? She was just a freaking legend.
Yeah.
And it's just an energy, like almost a ethereal energy that I don't know that she was channeling from God, right? I mean, it was just like, I mean, just I'll never forget that interview. It was just beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
God's not even too old, right? It's never too late, not even for God.
That's right. And we were given these bodies. There's no, I mean, until we have it the expiration date, right, until it's like everything stops.
Yeah.
We have another day, right? So use it. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why go through life miserable? I mean, yeah,
so
it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, because all the if you stay active and everything, people that are active, I never seen somebody grumpy.
No, it's true.
Right. Yeah. And it goes back to that dopamine thing, right?
That's
if you're
true.
moving, you're creating that dopamine in the body, and that's just got to have it, right? And it's not. And the cool thing about dopamine is that you can make more. You can make more. You can make more. You can make more. And the way you make more is getting out and moving. It doesn't have to be 100 miles. We walk around the block, a brisk walk, but we've just got to think about the chemistry as well. I think it's important.
Yeah. We touched on him a little bit on Richard Butch Britton. I had messaged you about this, how I was inspired by him, and now when I do my races, I do it for 22 Too Many, the group for veterans that lose their life to suicide. Yeah.
Yeah. Powerful. Actually, did I read that? Did I read a post, or did I listen to a podcast that you recently did a run with for 22 Too Many?
Yep. I just did that. Yeah, Louisiana, New Orleans. Yep. That was my first one. So yeah. And I love that. It's a great organization. So yeah. So yeah. So by putting this book out, you're touching my life, and hopefully I can spread spread all this positivity out there. There's too much negative crap out there. So
right. And if you can give back, right? For me, it's like if you can affect one life positively, even for a few minutes, right? Then it's a good day. It's a good day. Yeah, for sure.
How did you choose, like, what order to put these in? Was there any specific order, or was this how you interviewed what order of the interviews and all that?
I because there weren't many males, I tried to sprinkle the males in between the females, and that was really the thing. So I think it's female, male, female, male, female, right? So we didn't have a whole bunch of women and with no men. And it's funny, I've had a hard time getting men. I mean, I don't mean it like that, I'm married, but
well, all right, so no one can see you. Kate, you're very attractive, so I don't think you have a hard time getting that. Since we're on a podcast, no one can see you, so I just want the listeners to know that I don't think she's having a hard time getting that.
I don't mean it like that, but mean it when I put a call out for people, I call them people that would not like to participate in the project, right? In the project. Right. I get a lot of response from women. a lot of response, but it's not, I don't get as much from men. So the men haven't been as representative in my books as women. So that's the order, right? Kind of splitting up women and putting the men in between. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
That's a great question. It's for me, I don't know. I'm just guessing. So for me as a therapist, right, I also see that in my practice, right? I see more women than I do. Right? So more women reach out and are prepared, I think, to maybe be more vulnerable, to share their story, to to kind of open up than males.
Yeah.
I think it's changing. I think it's changing because I'm also getting a lot more males in my practice over the years. I can see it changing, but I think it's I think there might be a kind of a gender thing. Men aren't, it's a little tougher for them to open up, be vulnerable. Let's face it, some of my questions are pretty vulnerable. I'm getting not super deep, but getting deep on some of these topics. So yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, we talk about that on our podcast a lot, how men need to go to therapy more and that they should, it means you're brave if you're not a weak man because of that. Paul goes to therapy. We use him as an example all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like an outlier. Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to help yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes you a stronger human, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody that shows up for therapy is a champion and courageous in my book. It's not easy. I think it's vital. I think it's really important. Maybe not vital, but important for that self-discovery, even if you don't really have anything kind of big going on, right? We've lost or whatever, but just the self-discovery, self-knowledge, so you can be better for yourself and better for the people around you. I think there's value in that, but it takes courage. So yeah, anybody out there listening, call a therapist. Get your big girl pants on and call that therapist. Yeah, big boy pants in this instance. Yeah,
Yeah.
Call a therapist. Get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, I go, even if I feel like I don't have anything to talk about, then I end up having a lot to talk about. It's good to go for a tune-up. So even if I don't feel like I have any major problems going on at the moment, I still go just to keep up.
And I have to tell you, as a therapist, I'm going to drop that. Those are the best sessions, right? When somebody comes up and they don't have what I call a crisis of the day, or the big stressor, or the big thing they want to work through. Those are the best sessions. That's where you can get a little deeper, a little more under the hood, right? A little more in the weeds. Those are the best freaking sessions, 100%. Yeah, and I find that for myself. When I show up in my therapist, like, got nothing to talk about, and then she'll ask me a question and it's like whoosh, floodgates open.
Exactly.
So true.
Yeah, and it actually prevents getting into a crisis. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's like buried treasure.
It really is. It really is. And I'm going to tie that back into this movement thing, because it helps me. It helps people. When you're feeling better psychologically, you're gonna be more able to get those shoes on and get to the gym, or get out on the trail, on the bike, right? You're gonna feel more like you can do that. So it's like a feedback loop, right? It's like a feedback loop. It's really important.
Yeah, actually, when I do my therapy sessions, we usually do it outside. We go hiking.
Oh,
it's called walk, talk, flow, grow, or something like that. So we go to the wildlife refuge and walk like a 3-mile loop, talking.
Wow. So that you are limitless would fit right into that, right? Because you're out there, you're moving, you're talking, you're in nature. Oh, that's beautiful. Love that.
Checks all the boxes. Yeah. Yes, I loved Will Sprouse's story. Well, not loved it. I mean, he went through a lot. Like, he got into a motorbike accident, and he was told that he wouldn't be able to run again. Then he finally gets running again, and then he has a massive stroke. So he just keeps going.
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, he was amazing. I was really thankful to be able to get him on in that book, but his story is absolutely incredible, and he's still out there running. We were in contact the other week, and he's still out there running. Still, I mean, he's recovered from so much. Wow, incredible, really incredible guy. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, everybody here is incredible. I don't know, might be a morbid question, but are they all still with us? Do you know?
Yeah, everybody,
Yeah.
and Never Too Late is still us with us. You know, they were out running. Sister Madonna did a triathlon up in Cleveland like last year.
Wow.
Oh, she's like 90 now.
She's still out there doing it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they're all still kicking. Yeah.
It's so inspiring.
Yeah. Just
Who
gonna,
doesn't want to die like that? Who, and for me, it's like, you know, if I'm
Mhm.
gonna die, just, you know, make sure I'm on the top of a mountain. You just push me off the edge, right? So, you know, isn't that how you want to go out? You want to go out doing something that you love and
Yep,
just something that you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
for
the whole
sure.
point? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, living
Absolutely.
life. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, that's kind of like Dan Taylor quote, I don't believe you wear out, I believe you rust out. So
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
That's awesome. That's so
like,
true.
like
Yeah.
the people that don't exercise say, oh, you get hurt and everything, but you're just sitting there, you're getting hurt on the inside. You got all
Yeah.
these medical problems on all this medication and everything. That's not just because it's not a broken leg or anything, it doesn't mean that you're healthy. So
Well, the whole thing too, the whole thing I think we forget sometimes. I think I'm going to get into this. I think we're getting soft. We're getting
Yeah.
freaking soft, right?
I,
I mean, you get a
girl,
bump or bruise or a
we're right
headache.
there with you.
Oh my gosh, it's like tough the fuck up. I mean, we're getting soft, right? All this social media and sitting on the couch and air conditioning and climate
Yep.
control and cushy cars that you don't even have to show up for. I mean, it's like, oh my, we're getting soft, right? So when you have an injury, whatever it is, mental health, physical health, foot, autoimmune disease, whatever, we heal, right? We are
Mhm.
designed to heal. Bones mend, skin knits back together, muscles, you know, do their thing. We are healing machines. So take the time off, care for yourself. Yeah, but that is not an excuse. That is not, I'm not going to say 100%, 90% of the time, that is not an excuse. No, it's
Right.
not.
Yeah. And Adriana as a trainer probably hears that all the time.
Oh.
A little
So do you
hangnail.
think people are getting soft? I mean, I have to
Yes.
ask you
Oh,
guys, does that just
absolutely.
mean, do you think people are getting like
I
soft?
do. You know, I'm a true, like, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I think like attracts like. So a lot of my clients are similar to me. So like they're, you know, I'll kind of bullshit with them about all this, or, you know, so they're
Mhm.
not, you know, a lot of us have like minds, but I think people, you know, there's a real big lack of resilience. And even during the pandemic, I was like, oh my God, I have all this time. This is amazing. And everyone's like, I'm depressed. I need Xanax. I can't get out of my house. Like, you can get pizza. People will deliver you food. I redid my whole fence in the yard. My wife's like, stop telling everyone how much you love lockdown. Like, people are going to hate you. I was thriving. It was the healthiest I was. I was meditating every day. I have the key to the gym. So I did have an up on a lot of people, but I was like living my best life. Everyone else is falling apart. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but to your point, it's like, I think people aren't resilient because it's like everything's scary, and you have to learn how to find opportunity in a crisis, because there's always an opportunity of some sort.
Yeah. And there's always going to be a crisis. There's
Right.
always going to be a crisis.
Right.
Something's going to get fucked up, right? There's always going to be a crisis. So you've got to roll with it. Well, you've got to roll with it. You've got to roll with it.
It's so true.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love about backpacking now, because it's so fucking uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
You've got all the weight, your body's killing you, you're on the ground. I was in Georgia over the last weekend, backpacking. We did hike Blood Mountain. We stayed camped at the base of the mountain. It was freaking freezing. I have never been so cold in my life. There's howling wind, like probably down in the 20s with the wind chill. I was so uncomfortable that night, so cold. I don't think I've ever been that cold. Like, literally thought I was going to get frostbite in my feet.
Ugh.
And it sucked. But the next day, right, the sun came up, started warm. We got moving. Started to feel a bit better. And it's like, I was so thankful for that discomfort, right? Because I don't know, it just makes you feel alive, right? It makes you do hard things. It makes you feel like you can just conquer the world. And then we hike the fucking mountain and go back down, right? And it's like, I'm gonna be 60 in April, you know?
That's
It's,
amazing.
I don't know. So yeah, so I think that's another thing about getting outdoors. You can really get uncomfortable, you know, which is important.
Do you have one of those little blow up mattresses? So I have a 1-person tent, and I bought one of those little blow up things. Do you have one of those?
So I have a little 1-person tent, and I have the Z pad, right? So the Z pad is the little yellow skinny pad, right? Which is this insulated on one side and you like yellow on the other side. And then I have a little skinny blow up pad too. So I have 2. And generally, it's not going to be like, you're not going to be like sleeping at the Ritz, but you know, it's usually doable. But it wasn't so much I was uncomfortable because I was uncomfortable. It was just the cold, the wind, just like gushing through the tent and the sleeping bag, and it was just the wind was crazy. Yeah, cold.
Yeah. I don't know about you. Probably feel the same way. Like I'm 52. I'm going to be 53 later this year. I feel like in my 50s, I feel like better than I have in like decades. It's definitely better than the 40s. Like, and I keep hearing that from other people that are in their 50s now that they feel much better.
Yeah.
So that's a promising sign.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think for me that was certainly true, you know, because it wasn't until I was in the 50s that I really started to work on my own crap, my personal crap, right? The grief, the loss, the trauma. And once I started to work through that, you know, physically I was feeling pretty good. But when you add that mental fitness on top of that, it's like it's just a whole nother level. And people don't get it until they taste it, right? But it's just it's a whole nother level. It's like all the dots begin to match, right? Instead of a big messy scatter plot, like all the dots begin to match, right? Mental health, physical health, spiritual health, financial health, right? It all begins to match. And then community. So community is really important. Again, it's about a lot of my work is about building community, right? Through books, through podcast interviews, through the Facebook stuff. It's all about building like community of like-minded kind of people.
Yeah. Unless you're in the MAGA community, then that's not so positive. But we won't get too much into that. Get us started on that, but but yeah, there is a lot of like positives in the online community. So yeah, I just discovered that group when I just finished your book Limitless. That was good having the link there. It's like, oh, I didn't know that was there. So
good. It was good to see your name pop up on the membership roster. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a really good group of people. I call it it's a small but mighty group. I mean, it's really a neat group. Yeah.
Yeah, very active and positive. Yeah, so I'm liking it a lot. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Yep.
Yep, it's important.
So what else do you have for me? Well,
Paul's got his list, so I'm
yeah. I know. I have like the list of like all the amazing people that were in it, and yeah. I don't know if I had anything else. Yeah, I love your story too, Kate. So we'll let people read about that, kicking off the Limitless book. But I did enjoy the format of your book though, like you had interviewed the people, and then you added at the end of each book. So great advice and everything. Yeah,
I do like to focus on like kind of motivation, and in Never Too Late, there's a lot about limiting beliefs and kind of trying to get those reworked. So I, you know, because we all have stuff, right? We all have crap.
Yeah. We
all have crap under the hood for whatever reason. It's, you know, so just knowing what it is and then working through it. Again.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read Limitless. I think this is like, for Never Too Late, at least, this is the kind of book you can leave on your coffee table. And if you're having a day, a fitness faux pas kind of day, you know, you can take a look at it. And that's the thing, like kind of turn a page and look at something. I definitely, it really did. I have to say, like, I read it and it was I'm a slow reader, and I have ADHD. So, you know, chickens, birds, anything that makes a noise I forgot what I was just doing. So the fact that I was able to really, I'm like, oh my God, your writing is just it's very easy, but it keeps me there, you know?
thank you. I mean, I
Yeah.
really appreciate that because, I don't know, right? Because I just, but so thank you. I really appreciate the
Yeah,
kind.
well, because I feel like if it's an easy read and it's entertaining, it's easy to stick with. If someone, just your writing style is very easy to stick with and it's motivating.
Motivating.
Yeah, the Limitless. I'm like, I just gotta go get this book. I can finish these other two after. Like that's what my brain's doing right now.
It's all right. You got plenty of time. It's not going anywhere.
Do you sell your books on like your site, or do we have to get them on like Amazon or I can check my local bookstore and she'll probably order them anyway. I can just have her order some.
So that is a great question. So the Never Too Late is pretty much available everywhere, right? You can get that at Walmart and anywhere. It's kind of wide, but most people go to Amazon because especially in this country, it's easy. I am getting, so right now, You Are Limitless is only available on Amazon. But I'm actually, one of my focus lists today is to kind of get that loaded into other platforms, other distributors, so it can be available all over the world. So one of my vision for You Are Limited, because I'm so passionate about the mental health piece, the nature piece, and the movement piece, is somehow, before I die, I just want everybody to be able to have an access to a copy of that book, You Are Limited, You Are Limitless, because I just so believe, right, in, a lot of people are suffering, and I just want those words out there. So that said, it's going to be available wide. I'm getting that loaded up today, but right now it's Amazon.com.
Okay. I'm buying it when we're done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And they'll be available in libraries, right? So you can go, you don't have to even buy it. You can go to the library, you can get it. It's never too late. You can get it ordered from the library. You can pick up a second-hand copy somewhere at this point. Yeah. And if anybody is hard up for money, email me. I'll send you a freaking copy. I don't care.
Really sweet.
People to have these tools. They're tools. I want people to have these tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Now knocking on doors, I get a flood of emails asking for the book now.
What are
you doing?
Don't say you listen to Journey of the Road Runner. You're gonna make us look bad. They're all Journey of the Road Runner fans. We get free books.
So Kate's publicist is going to ban us. The Vatican's banning us. We're a little rebellious over here.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't think do you have anything else, Adriana?
No, this was awesome. I'm really,
this is amazing.
I'm really grateful you came on.
Thank you. I feel like I'd like to run with you or hang out or do a hike or something together. I think that would be a blast. Do you ever do anything like that? Any kind of community activities or group runs or group hikes or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have we're doing something called the Climb for Air right now. It's 22 flights of stairs in Providence. It's for lung cancer and lung disease awareness. And then in May 20th, we're doing the terrain race. I have a group of people, and it's all kind of all ages, all fitness levels. I usually stay in the back and I train people to do their first obstacle race. So Paul's going to do that one. Oh, yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. So where are you located?
I'm in the Midwest, but I travel. I'm happy to travel, and I'm all over the place. So I'd love to do something with you guys. That would be so much fun. Yeah, we have the Rugged Maniac. That's a 5K obstacle race. That's in September, so that's far out. We do some small 5K. I've taken some teams on some bigger ones, but we do all kinds of stuff. We just like to have fun. Yeah. So I don't know. How do people know? Do you post somewhere? Or do you have a newsletter, or how do you keep I usually train out of the gym. So I don't love social media. I have put it on my I use my Facebook just to post stuff like that only. Okay. I kind of don't do much else with it. We talk about it on the podcast a lot, so I'll give information on the podcast. That's usually where I advertise. So yeah, and obviously you can send people to the podcast or to my Facebook or Paul's, because he's usually doing all these races. We do them together usually, and we just I really love bringing people together of all fitness levels. And I teach MovNat, and MovNat is a lot of that. Like, it's natural movement, so it doesn't matter what I had a marathon runner, a CrossFitter, a couple other random people in the class, and everyone had different weaknesses and strengths.
And it was it was a way for everyone to level up to each other, because there were some people who couldn't get down in a deep squat who you were like, what? You do what? And you can't what? Like, there was just really, so I really like bringing different fitness levels together. And obviously at the races, I usually put some of my strongest runners, like you're in charge of the front. There's usually a group in the middle, and then I stay in the back to make sure I kind of toe the line. So it just makes it accessible to everyone. And then we drink beer after.
Oh, perfect. Sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We'd love to have you out here.
Yeah, keep me posted. One of my goals is to do some kind of epic thing in every state, and I haven't done anything in Rhode Island yet. So I could definitely add that to my list. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We have something here you might like. It's paddleboard or run. I think it's a bike. But it's a paddleboard, and it's out in Westport. I can look up a couple of things, and I have your email. I'll send you some stuff, because there's some pretty cool. We live near the beaches, so there's a lot of then there's like one run from one beach to the other beach. There's a bike from one beach to the other beach. It's like Westport to the Cape. Like, there's a lot of different stuff. So I can definitely send you some info.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me and connecting. Let's stay in touch. Paul, feel free to post in that Facebook group. If you're doing a run, or you got an update or something for the community, feel free to.
Yeah, I'll hook that up. I'll send it over there. I'll have Paul give me the link. And
okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. And do you have a website? How can people get a hold of you?
Yep. So my website is katechampionauthor.com. If people want to email me, katechampionauthor@gmail.com, and then the books are obviously all available on amazon.com. Yeah. Oh, I have a free hiking guide. If anybody wants to start hiking, I have it's a great hiking guide. It's actually with a focus on women, because there was a gap in the literature around that. So that is available through my website, katechampionauthor.com. Go on there. You can download a free hiking guide. It's very cool. Lots of tips and tricks and strategies. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention the starting out or starting over.
Yeah,
the top 10 tips for runners. But yeah, I need to get to that one. That one sounds amazing too.
That's a good one too. Similar kind of format. Lots of tips. There's a lot of tips and strategies in that one. Lots of kind of things you can work through on that motivation, getting that motivation built. Yep. Because that we're always going to have to start over, right? And that's life, right? We start, and you just got to keep starting. You can stop, but you got to start again. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Whether it's through the injury or anything else, if you just fall flat for a minute. Yeah. All right. And then here, Adriana, you want to plug Soul Friend Yoga?
Yeah, I'd like to plug my company, Soul Friend Yoga. We do fitness apparel, yoga mats, and partial proceeds go to fund our mission, and that's to bring yoga, fitness, and mindfulness to at-risk communities, mostly young people, but we will go out to other communities. Right now, we're going to be starting back up with Youth Pride Rhode Island. We're really excited. We usually work with them in the warmer months. So my email is adriana@soulfriendyoga.com. And if anybody wants to shop on our website, it's soulfriendyoga.com, and it's capital SOUL 20. We'll give you 20% off. And if you're on any social media, we are on Instagram, Facebook. So check us out.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I will definitely check you guys out. Yes.
Yeah.
The clothes are awesome.
Reach out to me directly, so I'll hook you up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
Exchange yoga clothes for books.
I love those.
I'm always about a barter.
Yeah, me too. I really appreciate your time today. It's been I just feel a connection, and I just really appreciate Paul reaching out and reading my books, and it's been just awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you for taking the time. We've been looking so forward to this, so we're not disappointed. That's for sure. We love this.
Thank you.
It's so nice meeting you. Yeah, you fit in very well with us. So,
You're our people.
If I can do anything to help further the word, just let me know. Yeah, you know where to find me.
Thank you, Kate.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Awesome. You too.
Bye.
Bye. And remember,
be excellent. to each other. And party on, dudes!